Right, so one of the things I noticed most people get wrong in their SEO and even in their PPC, but this video is more about SEO. Anyway, so one of the things I noticed people get wrong the most is they target the wrong keywords, or keywords are too competitive, not specific enough to the service. So what I'm going to do is probably a few tutorials on this. I'm going to make this first one, see what people think, and then move on further. So what we're going to do today is we're going to learn with the Google AdWords Keyword Planner how to come up with ideas for keywords, see how many people are searching for them. Yes, so how you'd go about doing that, and what I'd say were the best practices, and how to go on about planning a website and planning the structure of it and where all these pages with these keywords are going to go. So let's get started. Something that I thought generate quite a few queries would be looking for creating an online cheese shop. That's right, selling cheese here in the UK. So that's what we're going to do. I personally don't know that much about cheese. I like eating it, and that's about it. One of the things I'd do is I'd go here to the Keyword Planner tool, and I'm going to look for new ideas. In terms of locations, obviously I'm in the UK, and this fake business is in the UK as well. So I'm just going to add that in there. You could add other things in there. Do our languages, Google and search partners, so this will include other websites that use Google as a search engine, like for example orange.co.uk, so I can use that as well. And negative keywords if I wanted to put anything in there. So as an example, in this case, my company doesn't do blue cheese, so I could put the word blue in there. I'm not going to use that now. You can get this, set this to check your landing page or select a product category or whatever, but I wouldn't do that. I don't think I've ever used that before, actually, to be honest with you. So let's just see. So we're an online cheese shop. So let's just go quite broad now for the start. So buy cheese online, cheese for sale online, UK online cheese shop. I'm just going to give it a few ideas, so it kind of knows, we're talking about cheese shop and something like that. So it knows what we're talking about, and then we're going to narrow everything down to what our fake company really does. So let's get our ideas here. Now, as you see here, it jumbles these all up for you in ad group ideas. Personally, I used to like that in the old keyword tool, but now with this keyword planner, I don't like using it that way. So I prefer to go here onto keyword ideas, and then we can start creating our group and thinking about what we're going to do. The way I sort of organize this is create several ad groups, although this is for SEO purposes of this video, but it would work for PPC as well. So we'll create several ad groups to put everything in groups. So as an example, first we just have generic buy cheese online, B1. And then as we're creating these groups, I'll create more depending on what I find. Buy cheese online here would be go into my generic one. The one that's selected, you'll see when I've got more here, the one that's selected is the one that the keyword goes into. So buy cheese online, go in there. Cheese for sale online, go in there. Well, it's got bad searches, but anyway, UK cheese shop as well, put it in there, even though it's low, just so you know. Online cheese shop. Now, cheese online isn't saying that you want to buy cheese online, although you probably do. So a way to, sort of think, oh, what does that mean, or what are people really searching for, would be to sort of copy and paste this, and let's search for cheese online, and let's just see what people mean, or at least what other companies are sort of ranking for, and things like that, to see if they really do mean buy cheese online. Because what you need to think about all the time is, what is someone's intent when they're typing something into Google? Like, is their intent to buy? Is their intent a research intent? So if I just typed in cheese, or if I typed in blue cheese, I could just want to research cheese, its health properties, or I could want to buy it. But obviously you need to start thinking about what the rate of conversion would be there, depending on intent. So in this case, just have a look. So all these sites here, as we can see, look to be online cheese shops to buy online. So I'd say that's relevant enough. And we could put it on the Buy Cheese Online if we wanted to. Buy Cheese Online UK, cheese shop. Now, does that mean it's online, or are people looking for their local cheese shops? So, that's something, again, we could look at and find out what's true and what's not. Same with cheese shops. Does that mean it's online, or are people looking for their local cheese shop? So you do that research for every sort of keyword you're unsure of. An example, we could create an unsure ad group. Obviously, if this was your own business, it would help a lot more. In this case, this is a made-up business. Let's say it's my client's business or something like that, and I'm not entirely sure exactly what they do, etc. So let's have a look. So unsure. Cheese shops, going in there. Now hampers. Maybe this company that you're working for does do hampers. So in this case, we could have an extra ad group, hampers, and gift baskets, as an example. And that could go in there. Now you've got things like goat's cheese and French cheese. Now this is what I mean. You can see the average monthly searches are very high. Same with Stilton, and this could be because someone's heard about goat's cheese or heard about Stilton cheese and wants to find recipes using Stilton's cheese. I mean, the amount of intents are huge. So I would never personally, if I was a cheese shop, pay for PPC just for Stilton cheese unless I had a lot of money to waste, because I wouldn't think the intent's correct. Whereas buying cheese online, your intent is probably because you want to buy cheese online. Same with cheese board. You need to keep thinking about what this person's intent is. And a cheese board, you could be trying to buy an actual cheese board. You could be buying a selection of cheeses. You could just be finding out what a cheese board is. So that's something you always need to think about. Online cheese shop UK, that's an example. Put it there. Cheese hamper. Put that there too. The cheese shop, that's probably a brand. So you Google it, finding out if it is a brand. You might not want to come up for that, or you might want to. Then you've got stuff like Italian cheese, types of cheese. Now, thinking of SEO, if you're just thinking about selling this cheese online, you might also think about content. So using the keyword planner is a good way to find out what content you could be using. So as an example, types of cheese. Okay, right, well, someone typing types of cheese may not want to see your website and buy cheese from you, but they might want to look at different types of cheese. So what I'd recommend in this case is think about this as a possible blog article, or some possible good quality content on your website. You could have a very nice infographic. So we can create another ad group and just call it content ideas as an example. So for types of cheese. And also a good way to sort of judge people's intent is what the suggested bid is. If its competitiveness of this bit is high, it's probably because people have already researched this, know that some of these keywords are good for making money and other ones aren't. But obviously not everyone's good at PPC, so sometimes this could be misleading. As you can see here, lots of different sort of online cheeses, how to make cheese. Again, that could be a content idea, I think, personally. Order cheese online. That's another generic one we could do there. Obviously, within this, you'd research each keyword, how competitive it was, and things like that. Obviously, some of these keywords might have very low monthly numbers. But we need to start thinking about long-tail keywords as well. And also, it could be perhaps that you or your client, or whoever, you can't afford to rank high for these terms. So the lower competition terms might be better for you. Cheese tasting, again, that's something different, something you don't do. Or maybe it is something you do, so you'd add a group and put cheese tasting. If you were using this method for PPC, what I also do always is create another ad group for negative keywords. So anything that I think, stuff that we don't do is what I'd put in. Now we start getting less generic, more specific data here. So buy Stilton cheese online. But now what we could do is create a new ad group for, if you did do Stilton, obviously. In this case, we do. It's one of our specialities in this fake cheese shop. And AdWords is froze on me. Right, so it did freeze, but I managed to rescue it. I restarted again in incognito mode and turned off all my extensions to see if that was the problem. Probably was. Anyway, so as I was saying, we've found something more specific here, which is buy Stilton cheese online. And that isn't generic. It might only have 20, and yes, Google does overinflate these figures, I believe. Well, I'm pretty much absolutely certain of it. Let's create another group for the Stilton. So what here do Stilton online. The group is starting here, and then I just added that there. cheese making, content idea, anyway. And then we go here again, Stilton cheese. Now I believe that's too generic, and that's not something you'd want to try and rank for, unless you did have that. You could have great a load of links coming to your website and you've got a huge budget, but you probably don't. So let's have a look at something else as an example. Buy French cheese online. Now that's specific. It's not very, very specific, like brie or camembert, buying that online, but it's enough to, I think, warrant its own group. So this is just sort of an example. Obviously you can see what I'm doing. I'm putting things into groups that make sense, and obviously all these groups could represent one page on the site. And obviously once you've got all these groups in place, then you'd research these ideas and put these back into the keyword planners, all separately or all within their own groups, to find out if there's more keywords you can have within those groups. So I hope that's been useful. I mean, I'm not sure of other people's keyword research, the way they do it, but this is just part of the way I do it. Other things I do include using brochures of companies that I physically get, and a lot of Googling, finding out more about the companies, finding out what they do, which I'll go into in later videos if people like this one. Also, what I'll go into is how to plan your website architecture around the research you create, using all the right things. Anyway, if you like this video, please like it. If you disliked it, you're welcome to dislike it too. Leave a comment, and if you'd like, subscribe to me, because I'll keep adding lots of videos, and hopefully some of them you'll like. Thank you.